Hello everybody, this is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into a short position on this morning's Emini Dow Jones. I'm going to go through some of the analysis and what I saw, and then we'll see what happens. I'm a little kind of was I missed a good setup earlier this morning, and I'll talk about that. But it looks like we got a decent setup right now. So I got into a position here on this pullback, um, and that's where I sold. That's the wrong color right here. All right, so what I want to show first is zoom out. I love doing this, you know. And yesterday was a Monday, and you can see that, yesterday was a holiday as well. It was President's Day, so actually it was a pretty slow trading day. And you can see that, yesterday it sort of ranged here. So I didn't trade yesterday because I knew it was going to be a slow day. But so when I'm comparing to what I'm seeing right now, I don't really care about comparing to Monday because it's not as important. So I compare to Friday, and to do that and see it on one screen, I changed to a 2-minute chart. That way we can see here Friday the 14th, Valentine's Day, right? Now I can see, now I can see it pretty much everything from Friday to today. All right, so now this is what I'm talking about, right? See this huge huge MBox delta. Look at that cumulative supply. Look at that right here. Compared to even Friday, we are, the bids are being smashed. And a lot of supply here in the cumulative delta. So no doubt about it, this is very strong. Okay. Also, we've got the M pace stronger than everything we've seen previous day and Friday. All right. So I know that this is strong movement. All right. So when I zoom back in, let's go back to the 1-minute chart. So essentially, this is it right here. This arrow right here. So let me redraw that. Right here. So that is a huge amount of supply in the MBox delta, and a huge amount of selling in the cumulative delta. And we were able to see that by zooming out. All right, so we know that. So we had the huge MBox supply, and we have the huge cumulative selling. All right, so that's what this basis is all about, right? So we hit hard here. We also hit the the pace of the bids so large, right here as well. All right, so the thing is we're seeing now, see, we've got this Stooges sell signal here, and I think this could be an add-on position. So let's watch that. I'm going to be watching that. So this huge MBox supply, that's like the initiator. That's like the initiator, right? And what is the response? The response is essentially right here, no demand. Right? Thing is, I think I'm going to get into this position. I'm gonna do another sell. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's bring more stops. So now I'm in two positions. All right, I wanted to get in while this was going on. It's kind of hard to talk and trade at the same time. All right, we're already over $1,000 in profits. That's good. All right, so what I wanted to talk about was this orange line I drew here. This blue line I'll also talk about, but this orange line, so, this was an important level of support, and it was tested many times. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we broke through it, and then we're testing it as resistance. So that's like 10, 11, 12, right? And what's important about it is, after we had this huge supply around this, previous support line, now it became a resistance line and there was no demand. So this became our context, of what's going on. And so that line served its purpose. And we broke down through this support with a huge amount of selling. Okay, then it became resistance. And by the time we got to the pullback and the stooges, there was no demand here, and there was also no demand in the cumulative delta. I think that, yeah, I have to move that. All right. Oh. Guess it's kind of like that. All right, fine. All right, so we had no demand here, right? So, we failed to garnish demand at this important previous support and now resistance level, and so that was the basis, and these signals came in, and those were the entries. Here's the pullback entry and the Stooges sell entry, pullback sell and a Stooges sell. Okay, so the signals are the entries after you have determined the underlying analysis, and the underlying analysis is very bearish, right? And so I'll kind of want to point this out as well here. So like after we hit this, do you see like this zone right here in green? So right, we had a punch here at supply, bam, bam, with price, with selling. Now, this is the response to the supply, and the response shows no demand, right? So I kind of want to get people to think about, response after the, initial supply, right? The supply is the initial sort of aggregator, and the response is no demand. Okay, so we got in on the signals. And when I was zooming out today, so there is no really good place here. I don't see a good support resistance level to exit. So today I'll be combination watching the technical analysis and seeing if I hit my goal. So we'll see what happens. So we're already 2,000 profits. All right, so I'll put the record on pause and come back after we see something more. All right, I'm going to exit. Okay, so I just exited the trade and decided, well, okay, hit over $5,000, and figured I'd call it a day. This sort of technical analysis here, I didn't see big supply hitting here. I was hoping, that's what I was hoping for, like right here, and I was hoping to see more supply here as well. And since we came off this resistance line where there wasn't much demand, right, the sellers had the advantage, right? But they're not using that advantage, right? And there's not much selling here. So why isn't there much selling going on here after the no demand? So I kind of got scratched in my head. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I'd have to watch it more. But since I hit my goal, and so I got out. You know, if I was seeing strong selling here and here, you know, we kind of quickly came back. You know, look at the cumulative delta. You see this selling here? We kind of quickly came back to some buying. You know, I was hoping, you know, what I wanted to see was like it expanding again like this, but I didn't. So anyway, hit the goal and decided since the technical analysis didn't look that strong, I was just going to exit. That's it for me trading today. I did want to talk about so in the end made, you know, $5,650 in profit. And what I wanted to talk about was actually a trade setup I missed. I was watching some other charts, and you know, pretty much this setup right here, you know, is what I want to talk about. Let me draw that here. Right, these like three. We got a double signal here because after the market opened at 9:30, we peaked up here, and I drew this blue line, right? And I drew it after it made this peak, and I saw that it coincided with previous level of support here. Hit it like 2 times, and then resistance. You know, so that's 1, 2, resistance 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it bounced off this line 7 times, and this was the 8th time. You know, so after it made that peak, I saw that, and you know, there was no demand. Right here, there was no demand. And you can see that. You know, no demand all through this. Then, you know, we've got these signals, double signals. Then we got a sell imbalance minus 26. We're making lower highs, lower lows, you know. And then we've got this in the MBox delta. We've got this no demand. Look at that here and compared to that box. So this is really no demand, you know, because we're still, you know, and here's where there was a clue. We're still getting see supply expanding here, right? But what's important is that after it bounced off this line, there was no demand materialized. And when we saw these sell signals, and we did see the selling increasing here, and also, you know, right here, this is, look at this. This is also no demand. Compared to the cumulative delta here. So, you know, these signals would have been entries. If I saw this, I would have gotten in on the Stooges in minus 26 and the pullback. You know, but you know, I didn't see that. So I came in later and got in on this setup, right? So writing this was a strong trade here. Anyway, that's fine. You don't always get everything. That's okay. I just wanted to cover the analysis of what happened earlier and the setup I missed, but happy I did get a decent setup. And so that's it for today. You know, hope that was helpful, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.